Come on, Joey. You can do this. Come on. I'm not asking much, you know. Something, I don't know. Something maybe in the blues genre? Because you're always sad? Daddy needs this. Daddy needs a viral video. Just one. Just please. Please. It's just really hard to come up with topics for these videos, and nobody wants to see me talk about music theory for 20 minutes. The internet really loves videos about dogs doing things with music. So just be adorable. Just be you. Just do something in your own time. Don't think I don't hear you playing Steve Vai in the middle of the night when I'm trying to sleep. Just in your own time. Just do whatever comes naturally.
Foolish. Doth thee not understand that I perceive music in an entirely different plane than you do?
Oh crap, I wasn't recording. A while back, I was scrolling through Instagram, losing all faith in humanity, as you do, when I clicked on an adorable animal. As you do. It was that clip of Chris Evans' dog playing with his little musical thingy and being all adorable, which was weird because my wife and I had just discussed that the previous night, which means the internet is definitely listening. But I've been thinking about this subject for a while. We generally define music not within strictly scientific parameters, but on feel and how we experience music. This music makes me feel good, therefore it is good. But by those definitions, we can only figure out how we experience music. Human, do you like this? Yes. Interesting. Dog, do you enjoy this? So how do animals experience our music? If we wish to explore the effects of what we perceive as music, we must first define it outside of culture and the overall human experience of musical stimuli. If you remove human interaction and human interpretation, you're left simply with this: a collection of rhythms and frequencies. Math. How many wobbles per second? To the question, do animals enjoy human music? Probably not. Now I'm going to be going into some deep music theory and sciencey things, but you clicked on this video for cute animals and I'm not going to take that away from you. So every now and then I'll just yell puppies and show some on screen and everyone's happy. You with me? Stick around. Reason number the first, biological. Our music falls within frequencies we can understand and hear and interpret, and tempos closer resembling that of our heart rates. It is because of this that animals often respond to our music with little or no interest. An animal psychologist of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Charles T. Snowden, along with cellist David Tahi, found that composing music that falls within the vocal range of the animal, as well as tempos closer resembling the resting heart rates of the animal, yielded physical and social reactions within groups of animals. They continued to compose music for various species, including tamain. There are a lot of big words in this video, give me a break. Tamains. The music is reportedly shrill and unpleasant to human ears, but caused noticeable positive reactions within the monkeys. Faster tempos with excited monkey sounds made the monkeys agitated, and slower tempos accompanied with calmer monkey sounds calmed down the monkeys. No surprises there. Cats too seem to prefer music within their own vocal range. There's like a whole weird genre that exists of people just making music specifically catered to cats. Go check it out. Leave it to the internet to make everything about cats again. Dogs, interestingly, apart from being the best animals, fight me, do seem to show the ability to respond to some human musical concepts. Research by Deborah Wells of Queen's University in Belfast has shown that certain breeds of dogs might be able to discern between music of different genres and have reactions similar to that of humans. An important distinction though: reaction, not internalization. For example, Charles Snowden found that animals seem to lack relative pitch. Puppies! You still with me? Where humans can recognize a melody in any key if the relationships between the notes haven't changed, animals then seem to recognize the intervals between notes when transposed. This could be due to our brain's ability to infer greater mathematical relationships. Part number 2, animals and rhythm. Along with our ability to do all that interval-related math, humans are also able to subdivide rhythms. This is how we are able to enjoy music that falls outside of these so-called biological limits. Adam Neely, in his video "What is the slowest music humanly possible?" brings up something called the perpetual present.
The window into our brain's stream of conscious that links together moments and experiences to feel like now. Perceptual present is what philosopher William James called the short duration of which we are immediately and incessantly sensible. It's also been called a saddleback on which we sit perched and from which we look into two directions into time.
He talks about the furthest apart two notes can be before they are no longer biologically linked as one event. And he goes into why our music is able to exist way beyond this point. A key part of that is our ability to extrapolate rhythm even when our bodies no longer feel the connection between events. We can internalize subdivisions even when the music is faster or slower than comfortable. It is really important that we make a distinction between recognizing a pulse and inferring meter. Animals can do the first but lack the ability to do the latter. In an experiment with a cockatoo named Snowball, the bird would synchronize his movement to Everybody by the Backstreet Boys, even when the tempo would be slowed down or sped up while keeping the pitch intact. This would be impossible if it was purely reactionary. This indicates a predicative knowledge of where the next downbeat would land, and then a synchronization to that inference. He would sometimes even lead the rhythm, slightly rushing the next downbeat.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go.
Another study with a Californian sea lion showed that on various tempos, even with missing beats, the sea lion was able to extract a pulse and synchronize to that pulse. But as I mentioned earlier, animals don't seem to be able to subdivide and feel polyrhythms and extract meaning from polytonality, but more on that later. Our musical taste is complex and goes beyond the easy math is nice and the hard math is gross. We enjoy things that fall within the unenjoyable spectrum, spicy chords and odd time signatures. Animals don't share this. This might be because they have a smaller window for what we call the perpetual present, but also what they interpret as pitch. Puppies! Point the next! In his Ableton lecture, Adam Neely, and yes, I'm going to be bringing up his work a lot, brings up that rhythm and pitch are the same thing at different ends of a spectrum. Earlier we brought up that the slowest we can feel music is at 33 BPM, but at the fastest end, it literally becomes pitch, at least to us. Whales can hear as low as 7 Hertz. That's only 420 BPM. What we hear as a set of rhythms, they hear as a continuous low drone. Potentially certain polyrhythms that would sound almost like noise to us would sound like chords to them. Contrastingly, most species of birds hear frequencies starting much higher than we do. This means that some of the lower frequencies within our genres like EDM, classical, and gent would be interpreted by the aviary ear as rhythm. Imagine for a second all music sounding like high-pitched electrical equipment or being drowned out by the drone of 1,000 earthquakes. That's how some animals hear our music. Furthermore, even within the acceptable frequencies, there are complex challenges our brains are willing to accept for a greater purpose. Going back to that Adam Neely lecture, complex math makes for harder to digest music. A polyrhythm that is easy to feel will translate to a polytone that is easy to listen to. The opposite is also true. The more complex the mathematical relationships between a rhythm, the more complex the harmony. Yet we still enjoy this challenging music. To humans, consonance is given greater beauty by the presence of tension within music. In Hans Zimmer The Mole from the film Dunkirk, there's a palpable unease. This is due to an auditory illusion referred to as the shepherd tone. It is achieved by stacking a series of tones separated by octaves. As the one that is lowest in frequency slowly becomes louder, the one that is highest slowly becomes inaudible. At all times you're hearing multiple layers, tricking your brain into hearing an ever-ascending tone, never releasing. In the film, this is used to mirror the tension felt by our protagonist. A key point is that our brains make that connection between musical and mathematical tension and emotional, cultural, even biological tension. Animals do not. They are agreeable to easy math and find a disdain for anything challenging. We are willing to accept tension for the promise of resolution, whereas animals, although incredibly intelligent, have no need for that. Earlier, I proposed to break music down to its base ingredients, math and wobbles per second. And that could be the closest we get to understanding how animals experience our music for the most part. A couple of studies done at Cambridge University found that prosociality in humans is directly connected to joint rhythmical activities. The more complex the rhythms and the more complicated the music, the stronger the connection. Although not everyone agrees on the functional purpose for this, there is no doubt that synchronization has a profound biological effect on human beings. Again, not only to the individual, but to interpersonal connections. Dogs do share a social use of pitch. Wolves have been known to harmonize, potentially to give the illusion of greater numbers, but again, this seems to be purely reactionary. We don't just naturally hear music and react to it, we hear the feeling of our mother's cooking, or a lover's embrace, or the loss of a friend. Animals can perceive and maybe even appreciate auditory stimuli, but music, the result of connecting these dots, that might be unique to us.
You're like a cutie pie. You're a cutie pie.
Puppies and Keanu Reeves, literally the internet's two most favorite things. Thanks so much for pushing through. Did you learn something? I sure did. I find this subject absolutely fascinating. I tried to have this video not just be jargon. It was a really dense subject as far as research was concerned. I read scientific papers for this video. I'm a guitarist, I can't read. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos too. I'll leave links to everything I referenced in the description if you want to go double check me. If you're at all interested in any of the things I mentioned, it's a good place to start. I realize I referenced Adam Neely a lot, but he really is one of the few people who's done good work on this subject. Again, thanks so much for everything, watching the videos and commenting. I've been getting really motivating feedback. I read every comment, even the mean ones. Either way, please shout at me constructively within the comments. Any subjects I should consider covering in a future video? Puppies! Okay, bye.